Okay.
Me too.
No, fine.
Short and sweet, just like I like them.
I wanna know what, under revenue, the $35 is for other courthouse building.
What is it?
Well, that may be that may be fees from the ATM over in the lobby or something.
Other courthouse revenue.
Oh, yeah, oh, revenue, I think you
You told me
explained some
that's
of it.
what was in the $1,000 on the other one I asked about.
Oh, no, that's in Board of Commissioners.
Now, don't we
Yeah.
start keeping
Yeah.
track of what
That's
we
right,
said?
you know, I
You're
listened
right.
to this stuff.
You're right, that's in Board of Commissioners.
I don't have a whole lot of revenue,
$35.
but I have some.
I take it that the 43.9 is from the Dalton College?
Some of it.
Mm.
That and the
Sacred
Highland,
Out Highland River Street now.
The what?
Highland Rivers on Progress Road. Is it Highland Rivers?
Yes, it's Highland River.
Highland Rivers, and state probation, the
And-
Dalton state money is in, it's in a different fund.
Oh, that's in the,
It's in
The
the
state
bond.
probation rental downstairs is part of it. Highland River's medical facility,
Right, okay.
or counseling, whatever they do there.
and there's also Highland Rivers rents a portion of Kids Cottage.
That's right.
They did.
Yeah. They rent the lower level to provide, I forget the name of the program, but it's a program that's associated with the kids and the parents and all that they provide. So what they did was, I guess about 2 years ago now, they leased the bottom section of the Kids Cottage for that program.
Well, they need more space, why don't you rent them somebody the library bottom floor?
Well, they've just,
Oh, they do nuts over there.
they've just built
The
that out.
library do nuts over there.
Yeah, plus they just built that out and took over that space.
Have you seen the new build out?
And where?
Library.
In the basement?
Yeah,
No, what do they put down there?
Oh, they
Well-
got 200, what was it, about $250,000 project down
Yeah.
there from
It's just
state grant.
finished off.
it was unfinished, they finished it out, put some meeting rooms and
They got, meeting rooms. they got
bathrooms,
Big area, for, I guess, meetings again.
meetings.
So now they can do some of these library programs down there instead
Yes.
of that little room.
Yes.
that's-
Yeah.
Yes.
Kids could do crafts, they were doing science projects, kids groups, because they got a floor area that you can mess up.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's, you should go look at it, it's nice.
And economically, it's viable because they, instead of putting in these regular lights, they put in LEDs downstairs, which is I've been trying to convert the whole county to is when I can with what I can. And so that was an important part of the build out. Whoever built this building and whatever they built in the county in the past 10, 15 years, they had no foresight of repairs and replacements and what it costs to operate with the stuff that they put in these buildings. And this was our chance to get ahead of that and say, look, we want this in here. We have restrictions on the AC equipment that we wanted in there because they wanted, this state of the art, this and
Well,
that.
thank you.
It was gonna cost us, double what we ended up getting in there. And
And maintenance was gonna be.
we were able to be more hands-on in this build out and it's gonna help us in the long run as far as.
Because that's one of my biggest pet peeves,
Yeah.
is the library, those light bulbs, I mean, it was like
Well, the
14,000.
courthouse,
for a case of
the
bulbs.
courthouse, the library upstairs, I
Yes.
mean, the cost to keep that up is extensive.
Yes, because the people that spec those fixtures didn't have to worry about the consumables.
That's right,
Yeah.
that's right. It's the architect. The architect only gets paid out on the biggest drawing he can get
Exactly.
paid for, and, he gets a percentage of that, so.
And we had to push back real hard on that architect of the library.
We did.
Told him he
They-
wanted off the shelf components.
Right.
Oh, you can't do that, the law says.
Yeah.
DJ had to push back real hard on it.
We just wish we had had a hand in all these other buildings.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we're trying to correct it. We've done a lot of correcting. In fact, all the LED, all the lighting out around the courthouse now is LED. So that, if I can get a lot of that more inside, then we can see a real substantial savings on electricity.
Did someone get in touch with you about lighting, speaking of lighting on the outside of the building, that's doing, I guess, the downtown, or possibly doing
Oh, yeah, about wiring for it.
Darren?
Yeah, the, whatever's the new DDA, what do they call themselves now? Business Association or something?
Right.
Downtown business.
Downtown. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, they got in touch with me about, allowing them to put a dedicated circuit on the roof. That, they could put lights on and all that stuff. And we'll have to, in October, I mean, I'm all for it, but, you know, Davey's gotta come up with a little contract thing.
Okay, oh, okay.
Basically, it says if you fall off the roof, tough.
Yeah.
We're not, I just gave them your names, so.
Yeah, I heard from them, it's been a
Couple
couple months
months?
ago now.
Okay.
Well, I don't think it's been a couple months,
Okay.
about 3 or 4 weeks.
It's
They reached
viable.
out to me.
It's viable.
And they're wanting to make everything uniform.
Yeah, and I
Have
think lights
everything
and
that's on.
sound, now that I think about it, down the road.
Well, and a lot of that stuff, I told them that, you know, you're fine to put a, as far as I'm concerned, you're fine to put an outlet up here on the top of the roof, but, you know, we can't tell you what everything's gonna have to look like and all that stuff. So
Okay.
some of that stuff was go ask Al.
Yeah. Do it.
This is my last year's, I'm going
How many employees do you have, DJ?
How many employees do I have? Well, we've grown our department finally. That was our goal when Charlie first came on. We've now got 4 technicians, and we've got 4 housekeepers. And of course, I'm a working technician. I'm a working boss, so you can count me into that. But our vehicles. We've just expanded the department to finally start taking care of people on a timely manner, instead of stuff just getting put off to where it doesn't even get done in a year,
Right.
where we couldn't handle it. You know, we added a lot of buildings to our department too. We were kind of condensed at first, and then we were given a lot more, and we were given the whole county, except for the sheriff's department. And then we didn't have the personnel for it, but now we finally got the personnel, and this year's been a really good year. We've made a lot of progress and caught up on a lot of things that had been left to the side over the years.
Who prioritizes your list? Do you, like, departments come to you and say, I need this fixed?
Yes,
Do
we have
you
a,
do that, or do
we
you
have a new
report?
county, we have a new countywide work order system that anybody in the county can log in and type in a work order, and then it'll come to me, and then we'll go take care of it. And then there's a way to track, you know, whether it was done or not, how long it took. Eventually, we're going to try to add in cost and labor, and there's also a way to run our purchase orders through that, but we're not presently using that aspect yet, but maybe down the road, it may be something that would streamline our purchase orders too. But not everybody uses the work order system, so that's the reason we don't the whole county doesn't use that.
And
Except
can you
that-
make that mandatory? Wouldn't that be more efficient?
It is,
Everyone?
well, I'm not sure about the PO. The POs are mandatory, but not through the system. But it is now mandatory that they're not gonna call me. If they call me and say they need something, I'm not telling them to put a work order in, because if I don't get a work order in, it doesn't get done.
But in terms of making it mandatory, we can't make anything mandatory for any of the other elected officials. So
That's true.
the sheriff, the tax commissioner, all those folks, we can say, please use this. We can't say you must use this. But the county part,
And now, are you in charge of, I guess I should be, I'm Keith Casera's wife. So at the EOC, the running water that's constantly, the sink leaks constantly, the toilet runs.
Yeah.
Is it their responsibility then to keep you updated?
If they don't put a work order in, I don't know about it. We do go to building each month and do preventative maintenance.
Okay, perfect.
And we have checklists and we check on things, but, and also, I don't put actually work orders in for the work. I decide to send my people on through my department. If I see something, I just send my guys to go do something and take care of it. There's no need to send a work order to myself. But I have been working very closely with Keith on a lot of issues, and we have resolved a ton of deficiencies this year that have been kind of ignored by the previous administration, not this administration, but I'm talking about the fire department.
I know that the faucet, I know that you've tried fixing it many times and it just seems to be a recurring thing, so
I don't know,
long
I
as
actually
you
don't, I don't know what's faucet you're talking
in
about.
when you come around in the bathrooms, the very first bathroom. Come around the corner of the bathrooms, the very first one,
Okay,
so.
I'm not aware of that, so,
It has been fixed and then it's just something that seems like every time I.
well,
go
here's
there,
my
it
take on
needs to be
repairs.
fixed.
If it's been repaired a couple of times and then it continues to need repair, I'm to the point where I'll just take it out and replace, because it's more cost efficient to replace something with something upgraded and new than to keep repairing the same old junk.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
No, it's good.
anything else?
No,
All right, if y'all are ready, then we'll go ahead and
I have a couple of things to add to this that came up to light after I had submitted this.
yeah.
Do you want to do that first?
Yeah.
Okay. In contract services, I don't have total control of that line item because there's other people that have their hands in that. I don't know who that is and what all is in there, so I need to make sure that this is all added in there so that it's just not a lump sum I see in there and I feel like that I can spend that money because I don't know who earmarked that money. Generator maintenance, we've been taking it out of there, but I don't know if it was actually in the budget last year. But we want to make sure it's in there for this year so that it's accounted for. And that generator maintenance, preventative maintenance that we have to send around is $3,000 for the year. The fire department would like to add a maintenance contract for the doors, the bay doors, which you're quite aware of the problems that occur with those, and we have. So that is going to be about $2,800 a year, and it goes to contract services.
But now, would that cover the kind of problems we've been having? with
Well, no, that'll cover a preventative
springs?
call. They'll come out, check the doors out, and make sure that everything's running. If there's a repair that's necessary, they're there to do it right then. That way, there's no downtime with emergency doors.
But that would cover the things like the issues we've had with the springs?
No,
No?
that if
Not
there's a
even-
spring, if there's a spring replacement, that'll be an added cost to that, because those springs are $2,000 a piece.
Well, I know we'd have to pay for the spring, but if we've got a maintenance contract, it seems like they should install the spring as part of the maintenance contract. Otherwise, what's-
I don't know what their policy is if they're there. I know that if they're there, and, well, they're gonna have to order it and come back anyway, so.
So really, this is more of a preventive type
Right,
contract
right.
than it is.
And this might prevent some of the problems we've been having with, ties and the reset buttons and fuses and stuff like that. It'll prevent the fire department or emergency services from having a downtime or having a problem in case of emergency. Pest control, we've got a couple of buildings that have termite protection that we need to annually keep up. And we also have a couple of buildings that need monthly service. And that costs us $2,200. Or it has been this year. I expect it to be the same next year. Fire protection, we're talking about, okay, we're talking about the 5-year internal inspections of the sprinkler systems. We've got 4 buildings that are due next year on the 5-year. And along with that comes fire extinguishers that are also in these buildings. That cost is going to be $3,800 per year. Or not, that's actually not per year, that's just next year. 5 years, only 5 years, so every 5 years that cost will be this much. It won't be that much every year. Sorry.
Okay, I want to make sure I understand that. 3,800.
Now that's for,
Paid in
for
2020,
ins-
but it's
for
just
instance-
5 years.
for instance, the civic center's due, that's going to be about $600. The library's due, that's going to be $1,000. The courthouse is due, that's going to be definitely $1,000. Dalton State College is due, and we expect that to be about.
But this is all done under a maintenance contract?
Well, we have a contract, or not a contract, but we have an agreement with them to do this annually, keep record of it. What they do annually is the fire extinguishers, but part of that is inspection of the sprinkler systems as well. The 5 years costly. We do have an annual fire inspection for the sprinkler system, and it won't be that much. The annual is more like $300 for each building. But when it's, when the 5 year comes up, it's a more extensive inspection, so.
So it's $3,800 for all 5 years, correct?
For 5,
It'll be paid in 2020, but it covers,
well, no, it's done every 5 years, so it'll be $3,800 this year,
Okay.
or next year, and then in another 5 years, it'll jump back up to $3,800.
Okay, so that's my real.
In 2021, it won't be $3,800, it'll be something around 1,000.
Okay. Well, that was me again.
And if the sprinklers, though, leak, since they're inspecting them annually, are they responsible for repair?
No, they're not responsible for repairs, but they'll find a repair that we may not be aware of. And we need to have those, be on top of that for public safety. It's more of like a preventative
Make sure
maintenance
they work
issue.
properly.
Make sure everything's ready to go just in case. My whole budget's a just in case stuff happens. But like I said, this $3,800 would be this coming year, 2020, and then in 2025, it would be $3,800 or more if inflation takes it.
So what I want to be sure that I'm understanding properly is we pay $3,800. We don't pay any more for another 5 years.
No, but not on the 5-year inspection, but we do have annual inspections for the same system.
Okay, so the 5-year inspection.
So every 5 years, we have a big inspection, and then every year we have just a regular.
Well, what I want to make sure of though is that the 5-year inspections that we have around are not staggered. So we don't have 4 5-year inspections this year and then 3 more for other buildings next year.
No, these are
It's
the
just
main
every 5
buildings.
years.
These are the main buildings, right,
Okay.
right.
Do they make sure that they work?
Yes, well, they don't turn them on and
Well, see,
spray
that-
everything.
I mean, like, how do we know if we needed them that they would work?
Well, they do test the system and flush it out, but they don't actually test the sprinkler heads. They test for flow, they test for, there are butterfly valves that open when an alarm is triggered. They check those, they check gauges, replace gauges if necessary, make sure the pressures are correct, because these heads can only hold so much pressure, and if the pressure is more than the heads can handle, and that happens sometimes. That's happened over at the library. We had to replace the ones downstairs because of their build out. They had certain specifications that needed to be met, and that was just a pressure relief valve that needed to be changed and some gauges, and controlled that situation to make it viable for them to move in and continue to build down in the basement.
Is there water in the pipes to the head?
Yes, their water all the way everywhere, and they flush that water out, and it's not a clean water, it's an oily water. It's a nasty smell, and I've had it come out before, and it is not pretty and not fun.
That's why it stains the ceiling tile when it leaks.
Say that again?
That's why it makes the mess on the ceiling tile when it.
No, not necessarily. There are some that have leaked, and we've had that issue, but if you see water stains or something like that on the ceiling tiles, it's mostly, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be condensation from the AC units, and that's going to be easily remedied by wrapping it and insulating those.
And you've replaced all those ceiling tiles that we inspected?
We have. But did that answer your question, Charlie, about?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next one was, and I don't have these figures here, but they don't change their, we have a contract with Otis Elevator for the maintenance contract. And we have another fire alarm inspection for just the alarms. And I actually don't have those figures here in front of me, but those figures are finite within that contract. And we've actually lowered those 3 years ago, where it was, I don't know if you remember, it was something like almost $10,000. But the contract accounts for inflation, so it adds a little bit each year, but it's nothing like it was. So that's it for contract services that I needed to add that wasn't,
I want to make sure I've got the list so I can double check and
we need to just.
make sure that we don't already have these numbers included.
Right, we just need the numbers for. The
Generator maintenance, 3,000,
Okay.
maintenance contract for the
Go ahead.
fire station bay doors,
Right.
2,800, pest control, 2,200,
Right.
fire protection, 3,800,
Right.
and what do you say on Otis Elevator?
And fire protection 3,800, that's Chattanooga Fire.
Okay,
And then Otis Elevator, I don't have that figure in front of me, but it is attainable next door. And the alarm inspection for Johnson Controls, which we just had, it's also attainable next door.
While we're on this particular topic of such things as pest control, what is our situation at the Yukon Fire Station now?
Well, it's unmanned,
Yeah,
but I still do pest control out there every month, or have them go out there every month. The problem with pest control out there is the garbage station next to it, and that's creating that situation.
Which station is this?
Yukon Convenience Center and Fire Station are butted right up against each other.
Right, and it's not the only one. We don't have a problem at 16, but there is one right next to 16 that is also just Station 9.
Why would we have?
And there's another one at Station 11, but it's a little further away.
How were we able to control it at 16 but not?
Well, 16 is not a manned station either, but it's hardly ever been manned.
Yeah.
And it is a new building, so there's not very many entrances into that building for a roamer. Stuff like that to get in. Same with 11, it's a new building, new
Relatively
relative.
new.
And the compactor is a little bit further away. And I think that the fact that Station 9 is right there in the middle of the field, and the compactor is just right there, and it's an old building, there's many ways for rodents to get inside, and the rodents have been the main issue out there at Station 9. In fact, I think why they don't even want to man it, because of that. But now that it's under control, I don't see an issue with it being manned out there.
Okay, so it is under control now, more so than before.
Well, we find dead rodents all the time because of it, and we are finding less and less. So that to me is a sign that it's getting under control or it isn't under control. Or it's contained, or it's at least contained.
Why don't you let Daniel take care of it? He's always looking for homes for the feral cats that they fit.
Well, we actually thought,
Yeah.
Seriously?
we actually did think of that and wanted to do that, but I think there was some resistance from the fire department.
It was what?
I think there was some resistance from the fire department. At the time, it was a different administration also, so.
If it's
Yeah.
not manned, then
Yeah,
why
it
would
was
the fire
manned.
department?
It was manned.
It was manned.
It was
Somebody
manned
went to
at the
one
time of
department.
that we brought the subject up.
Right,
Because I think that's a.
and
It
now
was
it's
manned
not.
to one.
I thought that was I actually thought that was a no-brainer, you know, keep a couple of cats in
Yes.
there.
And,
Just don't feed the cats.
I'm not
You
sure,
know, They'll figure it out.
I'm not sure the cats could handle those rats, so.
Yeah, they're pretty audacious rats.
Yeah. We had a farm wake up with one in the bed.
Oh.
It has not been manned since then.
Okay, so I'm allergic to cats, and I think I'd start sleeping with one if that was the
Right.
case. I'd be sleeping with a cat.
So that's the reason.
And that fire station has to be there?
Yes, we need that for the actual.
Well, all the unmanned stations, even if they're not manned, there are people that are in the vicinity that can get to that station
Okay.
and go service that area if there's an emergency.
And we actually.
One of the things that we talked about before was relocating the convenience center.
That's the solution.
We were
right
gonna
there.
move the convenience center.
Yeah.
So that would be.
Have you ever tried telling somebody, we're gonna put it right over here next to your house?
Yeah.
And that's what we ran into. Everybody thought it was a wonderful idea, except anybody where it was going in their vicinity, you know?
Right.
So,
So that's that.
But with all of the action going on Yukon, and all the building and all the schools and all the everything, that station is
It's pretty necessary.
important.
Yeah, we gotta have it.
It's, yeah, if there's an issue at school, that's the station that will respond.
Okay, so we're good on the contract services,
That's right.
and
And then-
Sandy will check these other things.
Two other things I needed to add to repairs and maintenance line item was the bay doors at the road department shop. Of course, we just had that one repaired that somebody ran into. And we fixed a lot of them that were hard to manually pull, because all those doors are manual with chain. But what they want to do out there eventually is changing them all to have motors to move the doors up and down, because they have such heavy equipment coming in and out there all the time. And what they want to do is just a little bit at a time, add a couple motors this year, add a couple more next year, and eventually, take care of the building. So we're going to add in 2 motors for 2 of the bay doors there, and the cost on that is $5,000.
Is that what that 5,000 request is, that we have already?
I don't think it is.
That's the one.
What was the amount?
Sorry,
What was the amount?
5,000
for 2,
for 2 motors, that's right.
Those are motors for the.
is that in the budget, or is it, these are things you're adding to?
Well, though, I had already submitted my budget request, and then these issues came to me, well, you're gonna add this in for next year, and we submitted our budget request a little bit earlier this year, so that's why a couple of things didn't get on or come to light until. And then the other thing I need to add to repairs and maintenance is the computer for the card access at control. Now, we've been having a lot of trouble with card access over the past year. And we've got a lot of it worked out, except for the computer now is
I
becoming
thought
part
we
of it.
replaced the computer and now we needed the software.
Well, I think that we did get the software. As far as Frank with the sheriff's department was concerned, this is the quote and proposal that he had needed to add, along with some power supplies, which are not on here, but the quote that they got for the computer that they needed for that particular area is 1890, 77. With the other accessories, it's gonna be about $2,000, so I want to add $2,000 in to that line item for that issue. Sure.
This is to repairs and maintenance?
It says that they asked for 15,000, didn't they?
Sorry?
Okay, it's my understanding that this has already been purchased and put in place.
No, this is what I came to you about the other day, and we had to track it down, and we thought that he had purchased it and.
He still thinks he's purchased it too.
And put it on, just, purchased it on my budget, and I had to straighten it out because you're not supposed to do that. And so anyway, we came to investigate this whole thing, and it turned out this is a quote for what they wanted me to buy. And it was, they wanted it to come out of my budget. Of course, they don't have it in my budget this year to do so. I told them if they can hold on to the first of the year, then we'll add it into next year's budget.
Actually, I think what we're gonna end up doing, and obviously we're gonna have to get with Frank on this because there is some confusion. The sheriff feels that this is
I thought that was the same thing.
urgent enough, yeah,
Hardware, which is our
that,
Much to do now.
yeah,
Yeah.
that this is urgent enough that it really shouldn't wait until next year. So what we were talking about doing, when he was in here, was going ahead and getting all this done and taking it, funding it from the contingency that we have for building improvements. And then that particular contingency, we're gonna need to replenish in the 20 budget. So this is the one where we started out with 100,000 and we added 250 more last year for 350.
Yeah.
And we've used it, and we dipped some for the pool out of it. But we've also, the Taylor House roof, the carriage house roof, there's been a number of things that when they come up, we just said, okay, we've got this fund, that's what it's for.
That is what it's for.
So what we're talking about is taking it out of that fund. And that fund is down to about 149, something.
You did the outside
At the last.
cleaning.
Right. There's been a number
Did
of
you
things.
build the wall yet for the protection so that terrorists can't go into the
Yes,
building?
look at it when you go out.
Oh, you're talking about the, yeah, we got the
The
plans.
security
in
plans?
place.
That's been done.
Okay.
But what we've got is we're down to more or less about 150,000. In my mind, this is the kind of thing that should come from that fund. Now, when we're doing, as part of this budget, we're gonna have to replenish that fund. So maybe not back up to 350, but we're gonna have to replenish it.
What they asked for as he was going out the door, which is what I was confused about, the 15,000 you told him go ahead and do, but now, was that the new computer and software?
Well, see, that's
Have to fix
what
everything?
we're gonna have to get with Frank on, because my understanding from the sheriff, and y'all tell me if you heard it any differently, was that the hardware was all in place. And what we needed was the software and some training, well, primarily some software. And the reason that we weren't gonna be able to do multiple, not bids, but multiple, estimates on it is because we needed the specific hardware to match, software to match the specific
The
hardware.
existing hardware.
Existing
Otherwise, we
hardware,
have to purchase the other.
Okay.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. He's talking about the cards for each
Yes,
um,
because,
unit that controls these card readers.
Yeah.
right,
Those cards in there, the actual control cards cost about $1,100 a piece. Now what they're talking about is adding a little card to those cards in that box to let the new software that I think ETC is who they were talking to, communicate with card readers and make it more efficient, is what they say.
We gotta get with Frank, and we've gotta figure out this exactly.
So I know
You need
that
to be
that's,
involved in this.
I know that that's what, one thing they were looking about getting in their budget, but this was something
yeah,
different
because
than,
he's
different than
asking for.
that.
Is this,
No,
but this is for card readers,
Yeah.
so?
This is only for the computer that, that you're able to see and control,
To add people?
adding people, that's right. And that's-
We need to, you and I need to get together with Frank, and we need to decide exactly what needs to be done. It sounds like that and what they're talking about.
That's correct.
And then we need to get it done. We'll take it out of the contingency fund for building improvements. And then we'll replenish that fund if not.
Okay, that sounds better than adding more. to
Because
it.
they feel like this can't wait until next year, and I kind of tend to.
Because they can't add new employees, like
Right.
they, every time they try to add one, it doesn't accept it.
Well, it'll affect them that they won't give them access to everything they need to have access to. That's been the issue.
And the computer that you just said you needed a computer for card access.
That just it shows the people that are using the card.
Uh-huh.
It'll pop up on the computer and tracks them, and it keeps a continuous storage of that. And I think that's pretty sure.
So that's for tracking.
So.
Well, but it's
you
all
and
one
Frank-
project.
Yes, it's all one thing, and the two of them need to get together and
Exactly.
come up with the price for the whole ball of wax.
Okay. That's all I had to
But
add.
let's not do that as the 20 budget, because
Okay,
the 20 budget, part of that will be the replenishing of that particular
okay.
line item.
That's
So
all
we're
I had.
taking out the computer for the card access and have control.
Yeah, because we'll be doing that this year. Anything else up front?
Nothing I had to add.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, it's already there.
Okay.
So do you want to talk about what's already there?
Well,
You'll let us know.
I'm
So I'll
gonna
look at
double
two
check it.
prices and
I'm gonna double check and make sure that it's not already in
the
that
contract services. you already have listed.
48,000. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, that's the, see that number I didn't create, so that's always been
You were wondering where.
well, somebody's always had something they would drop in the budget on contract services. It was for something or another that I didn't add, so I wasn't aware of. So when it comes out or is used, it's still not. I just wanted to be aware and make sure that my stuff was in there since it's not budget.
Right.
Speaking of things that people drop in your budget,
Yeah.
unaware of you, or unbeknownst to you, has Amy Johnson said anything to you about blinds?
Yes,
For her.
yes, and just like.
Is it a D room, or is it the D room, or is it
No, it's.
one of the rooms
it's
up
in the
there where the
clerk-
sun comes in?
Yeah, it's, you know where, you walk in the clerk's office and go all the way to the left?
Mhm.
That,
Right there.
back office, has got those big windows
Yeah.
that don't have any blinds on, there's just decorative windows that go all the way to the top. I mean, they're wide as that wall. And the sun just comes through, that's one of the warmest rooms in the clerk's office because of that.
I can vouch for that, man.
And that's the reason we shaded, that's the reason we shaded his office. Actually, they wanted blinds, and I said, well, blinds are not gonna work there, but I tell you what will work there is what we use in the commissioner's office.
Room
Are
darkening.
those dark, blackout curtains. And they look
They do
nice.
blackout.
Yeah, and they look nice, so, I referred her to that, and she was gonna check on the cost of that. And when she is able to get a hold of those, we will put them on. But I told her to, go take a look at the, commissioner's office and see what they look like in there, and I'm sure she's, gonna be happy with the result.
Well, I actually don't have any other questions on this.
I'm good.
I thought you might, but go ahead.
Oh, I will speak to you before the question you have is, what we had in the budget for this year for the courthouse, as far as carpet replacement,
Uh-huh.
that, we do have the quotes for, and we're gonna move on that, this month, well, as soon as we can, hopefully it's this month, and get that done. It's gonna have to be done on the weekend when there's nobody here, of course, and we don't know if they're gonna finish in a weekend, so I don't know what kind of logistics I'm looking at to keep operations open while there may be a construction area happening. But we did get the quotes that they fell a little bit higher than what we had budgeted, but we finally found something that would fall into the budget and get a little bit of it started. And we're going to be replacing the first floor hallway, the second floor hallway, and the lobby carpet. And that would be a big first step into direction of replacing what needs to be replaced. There's a lot more that needs to be replaced, but like we did with other things, we're just gonna do a little bit this year and try to do a little bit next year. And I think I do have that in my requested budget for capital.
I didn't see anything on there.
Yeah, I
I see security and floor scrubber.
That's all I saw.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
that was
see,
in there. You talking about for 19 or 20?
Which one?
Okay.
Because we've already got 19.
We had 19, we had carpet replacement in 19.
Right, we need to add 15,000 next year if you want to keep continuing to replace that carpet.
well, again, in my mind, if we've got the carpet selected and we can get it done, why don't we just go ahead and do it, and it comes out of that same contingency fund? And what we need to do is just replenish that fund.
Well, at this point, we've only identified the first floor and second floor hallway and the lobby. We're trying to get the most wore out stuff first and then, go from there.
So we're looking at saying another 15,000?
Mhm.
Now, you said for next year, will that finish it, or is it going to?
No, I would say probably you got a couple of years if you're gonna do it a year at a time, because you can tell right out here in the hallway right outside your office, going towards to Pam's office and to the copy room, there's some discoloration in the rug and wear and stuff. That's a place that's going to need to be replaced soon. Also upstairs in a few offices, like for instance, the probate has been asking for carpet replacement. Now, the reason they've been asking have been a little bit exaggerated.
Those reasons aside, does it need to be replaced?
Some areas need to be replaced, so if you do some, you might as well do the whole thing.
You did the juvenile court area, right?
They also the other wore out places is the lobby of the tag office and at least the lobby of the clerk's office.
What about the juvenile court?
Didn't you do that area up there where all the kids are, the,
Toss it.
That didn't fall into our cost this year. I mean, we weren't able to afford to get all of it we wanted to do this year. But yeah, the lobby of CASA was another one that was identified as one needing to be replaced.
So we need how much in,
Well,
Those will have to get quotes.
my preference personally would be, let's figure out how much we're talking about.
Altogether?
Well,
Continue.
not necessarily all together, for next year, let's figure out how much we're talking about for next year. But I would prefer to take that amount and add it to the amount we replenish the building improvement fund with. Things like that, I would like to see come out of the building improvement fund, because I think that categorizes it better.
Right.
And what we need to do is just have an idea of what that is, so
Right,
we know
that's
how
not a
much
repair, that's,
more money we've got to put into that fund.
right, that's not a repair, that's an improvement, so.
Right, any capital expense, we can go through that particular line.
Well, I can have that quote probably by the end of the year.
Okay, because we're going to, with what the sheriff's talking about and with this carpet and stuff, off the top of my head, I'll say we'll probably be down around $100,000 in that particular line item by January 1st.
Yeah.
So, if we put it, say 150 or maybe 200, depends on, I haven't looked at the revenue figures
Right.
for capital yet, but let's say if we put 150 back in there and bump it back up to 250. My preference would be to do that and then use that for legitimate
Improvement.
capital improvements, that they should run through that fund, because I don't see the
I agree.
point of running through your capital budget and somebody else's capital budget, somebody else's capital budget, when it can all run through the building capital
Right,
budget.
I agree, because it is buildings.
And then the thought to, so it's not piecemeal and kind of intentional that it all not,
Well, I intend to use the same contractor once we start, because
Yeah.
when you start using different contractors, you're gonna start.
Or different
it's gonna look
road
Yeah.
companies.
I mean, we're gonna have different types of, different colors and different types of road, but I like to use the same contractor that we end up using. That way, at least we have some uniformity to it.
But
Especially.
in terms of segmenting the building stuff to that one line item, are you okay with that?
Yes, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, well, anyway, my question, although somehow column H, which was what you were requesting, all just disappeared, and I didn't know I could even edit this document. But what I remember is, I don't understand how the salary and wages was only 2,000 different than what you paid the last, for the 12 months. And yet, the group insurance more than doubled. So it was like 49,000 if I remember correctly.
Well,
And it's 24,000.
Does group insurance cover the families too?
Well, it depends on the type
Size
of
of
coverage
family.
that they select.
Yeah.
Some have singles,
That
some
might
have
have the
families,
effect
some
of
have.
a bigger,
Yeah, but see, I don't know where that went to. And
I try to hire single people, but
Say that.
thank you.
We got the
We all
DA
have
sitting over there
Just kidding,
too.
just kidding.
You didn't hear that, did you?
I was gonna say, it's all to take care of you, so.
We have had turnover though, and
yes, we have.
if, all it takes is one person to take family coverage and then group,
So you pay for family coverage?
we've had
They
portion
buy
of
a
it,
portion of
yeah,
it.
just like we do with the individual coverage, yeah.
The county's cost, and I'm giving you a rough estimate, but the county's cost on an employee with family coverage is about 12 to 14,000 a year on that one person. That's just the county cost. If a employee has single coverage, the county cost is about 5,000. So.
Okay. So if you've hired then several people that have family coverage this year, because that 12-month period is July 1 to June 30th, that would make a big difference, because your number, the 49,000 is a real number,
The 49.1 is based on
what you know.
the 49.1 is based on the payroll in DJ's department as of July, plus an 8% increase that the brokers have said would be our worst case scenario as far as an increase on the group health insurance. So that's where the 49.1 comes from.
And so there's nothing factored in for any increases since what? Okay. All right. I don't have-
Well, just the 8%.
Just the 8% that we,
No, I have salaries.
There's nothing factored in to increase the employee contribution toward it.
No, salaries.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we were talking about
We
insurance.
were, but I-
We jumped, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a
couple of thousand.
couple
Yeah.
thousand. Most of these folks are, for lack of a better way of putting it, we have done with them what we're trying to do with some other departments.
Oh, yes. that's
So, we're at a level that, we're not looking to do a whole lot this year with them.
Okay.
I don't have a question, but I do have a compliment. I think it's great that you're doing preventive things, because you can keep putting Band-Aids on things and it's just a waste.
Well,
So,
we-
like the electricity bills
I
for
would like
all
to-
those so far?
I would like to take credit for that compliment, but the fact is we've been deficient for a couple of years because of past administrations putting restrictions on us,
Mhm.
where we couldn't take care of things, or we just couldn't get it, we didn't have the resources or people to get around to it. And to Charlie's credit, he's allowed us to grow this department, and that's one of the first things we talked about when he became commissioner. And I didn't you know, from my past experience with previous administrations, I thought that was a pipe dream, but it's really been a pleasure to have this county grow in the way it has in the past 4 years, 5 years, and allow us to catch up on things and be efficient like we used to be.
Well, I appreciate that, but DJ is being too
Mhm.
modest.
Well, obviously being new to this, one thing that keeps popping up is the electricity bill. And I'm a major watcher at home, so I think anything that is being done to help with that, the LED lights
Well,
and stuff like.
and they
I think
are,
that's a step in the right
they
direction.
are kind of expensive to do and replace, but in the long run, it'll help us, you know, be more efficient. And I think that the way I'm doing it is not just going ahead and make a plan and replacing stuff that's working, that as it goes out, then I'll do, okay, I'll do some LED here, I'll do some LED here. Or, you know, just make a plan for when this goes out, we're gonna change this to this.
Mhm.
And not only here, we've been doing that at the airport, we've been doing that with some of the fire department, our fire stations, so we wanna try to continue that trend.
Now, you approved at the last meeting the moving, oh, sorry.
The Emergency Operations Center.
Yes, so is that budgeted in your budget, or does that come from?
Well, that's gonna, that was voted on this
Yeah,
past meeting, and the money was available,
that,
made available, so we're gonna help them build that out. My department is.
And that's
that
gonna be
fall
coming
under
from
your
that.
budget?
Well,
that's gonna be coming from that building improvement line item that we've been talking about.
And in 2019.
In 2019,
Right.
yes.
that's scheduled to probably happen in November, I hope.
And do you have like a, say a slush fund, because things come up, water leaks, stuff like that, the county, there's.
Well, that's kind of my whole budget, in case stuff happens that
Okay,
comes
so
up.
then your budget's more based on preventive.
Preventative and reactive.
A lot of DJ's budget is spent on maintenance and repairs that don't qualify as capital expenditures and could not come from the building improvement budget.
Mine's just in case stuff happens.
Well, like I said, I do appreciate the fact that you are thinking. The cost might be a lot in the beginning, but in the end, I think it's.
Yeah, I think it'll be good for us.
Okay, any other questions on DJ's annual budget? If not, we'll take a look at the capital here. And security, now what is the security part in it?
Oh, that's the security planners that we've got.
Okay, so this
They wanted
is,
to
so that's already,
keep going.
oh, they
add
want more
on
on?
yes.
Okay, I got you.
Eventually, the two that we've got out there, they
Yeah.
want 8 more plus a couple posts, so that's gonna have to happen over years.
Right.
And I've had that discussion with the sheriff, and he understands that, so he'll take a little bit at a time. It's forward progress.
And we're not gonna have a problem over the years in exactly getting a matching.
No, the company that I use, I made sure that it was a long time standing, and we have a good relationship so far, so I don't see any problem in the future. Also,
As long as they don't discontinue.
also, it's a pretty common product that they put out, so.
Okay. And the equipment, the floor scrubber,
Now, we did purchase a floor scrubber last year that Kevin and I were going to share between the Civic Center and the courthouse. But it turns out that when it came, it didn't fit through the doors of the courthouse. So, yes. So you couldn't maneuver around it. It was bigger than we imagined it would be. You think that a scrubber that's made to go inside would fit through at least doors, normal sized doors. But anyway, Kevin was concerned about the new buildings that he had coming, plus over at Clear Creek and all that stuff, that he says that he can use that scrubber that we bought, you know, for the Civic Center and for whatever else buildings that we get. He's happy to have that. But we're gonna do something that's a little bit smaller than that. That was a riding one. If if we can get just a walk behind that can fit through the doors now, the original quote that I priced on the one that I was looking at, got sold. It was a used unit, and these are used prices I was going off of. And I can't seem to find one now for that price. I was looking this week, and so I don't know if that number is going to be sufficient enough, but they have been looking at about $45,000 to $5,000 for what's necessary. So I don't know if you want to add that to that number, or just see if I can find one for that number.
Well, let's see how the budgeting goes when we get the revenue figures to plug in with it.
Hey, speaking of door size, I want to go back to this because to take too long, but on the Tabor house,
Yes.
and we're talking about the handicap ramp,
Mhm.
I'm guessing that someone will measure those two doors inside that first floor to make sure an actual wheelchair goes through
Well,
them.
they're not like regulations. I think even the steps.
I know the steps.
I mean, if you try to walk up the steps.
I used to volunteer
I
there all
mean,
the
there was
time, but
nothing, there was no code back then,
Right.
or even a normal, size for buildings back then, so each one is different. I don't see a problem fitting a wheelchair through that door.
the front door, I was concerned with that. Right at the base of the steps, that door to the right, entering
Going into
the
the
tea
kitchen
room.
area?
And I'm just thinking that it might, we just need to be measured, just to make sure that somebody in a wheelchair can actually get into anywhere in that building before we put a handicap ramp in.
Well, the handicap ramp has been an ongoing discussion for, I want to say 6 or 8 years.
Yes.
For that building. And for one reason or another, it's been put to the side. And then this year we finally decided to go ahead and move forward on it. So the funds have been dedicated and we just haven't gotten to it yet. Well, actually, we were waiting for it to cool off a little bit before we're out there building a ramp out there. We don't want to do that in 90 degree weather.
My suggestion is just take measure and make sure that they can get.
And if they can't, then
If they can,
That's
there's
probably the
no
idea.
point of
I
building
don't
a
know, I'm
ramp if
just
they can't
thinking.
get through the door.
Is there
that's
a reason if they can't?
That's gonna bring somebody to your door.
It's gonna bring Leslie, I'll
Yeah.
tell Leslie, and she might have measured. I just feel like it's, from my memory, it's a pretty narrow door
I
right
have a
there.
feeling you could probably get one of those scooters through it, because those things are pretty,
Well,
Yeah.
and people with walkers can
Yeah.
definitely go through.
Right,
It may
true,
not be a
true.
wheelchair, but you need the ramp
Yeah.
for people with walkers.
Also,
But
but, yeah. I understand, I feel you, I
it
understand.
just was like,
because of the
There's
age
no
of the
point if-
building, we're not really required by ADA to do that. It's just that there are a lot of
Courtesy.
public
And we're not
functions that.
exactly tied to specs with ADA for an existing building that old,
Well,
so.
in a building like that, in a museum type thing, I think that it has a higher appeal to an older generation than
Well,
it
see,
does to a
and the
younger
functions they
generation.
have there tend to be for people our age. Yeah, they don't have very many young people functions there, so
Yeah.
the number of people that might have a walker or something of that nature. Or, I mean, there's a lot of people that are on walkers that just can't do steps, okay?
that's
So
true,
having a
you're right,
ramp
you're right.
makes it easier once your knees
Yeah.
go,
That makes
you
sense.
know, and
Okay,
All right.
thank you, great job.
Any other questions for
Appreciate
DJ?
it.
Thank you, DJ.
Okay.
Appreciate it.